Hey, snow day video. I guess no class again today, obviously. Although, roads aren't so bad right now. Um, but anyway, I was thinking about this, making a longer video anyway, so since we're not going to meet, I can do that. Plus, I was meeting with my friend Kevin the other day, and I'll send this to him too. Just talking about music theory, just really basic stuff about building chords. I've talked about it before, and I wanted to do just an explanation just with the guitar. I'm not going to write anything down. I'm going to try not to be, too technical, although it's in a sense a technical topic. Okay, so one, major scale, right? Remember how we define that as a series of intervals? Whole step, half step. Whole step being 2 frets on the guitar or a stringed instrument. Piano, it's just 2 keys. Um, Everything I say hopefully applies to other instruments, although I'll show it on the guitar. Um, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step. Right. So that defines the major scale. Okay. So don't think of it as a series of notes so much as a series of intervals. Right? And if I do that on my guitar, doesn't matter where I start, I'm going to get a major scale in the key of the note that I start at. Right? I'm going to start with G because it's my favorite key. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step. Right? It's easy to see when I stay on the same string. Whole step, half step, whole step, half step. But I want you to, and this now we're going to talk to guitar players, and stringed instruments, stay in a position and find it, okay? On other instruments, just play that scale, right? G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. If you're on a guitar, I would prefer this one here, second finger on G. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So it's like 3rd fret, 5th fret, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Okay. And then that's where I'm ending up here at G, so I'll continue. Right, so that's 2 octaves. If you're doing like on the ukulele or violin, it's harder to get 2 octaves. You certainly can't get 2 octaves without staying in the same position. But on guitar, you do this one, you don't even have to reach, it's just G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Okay. Okay, so I would recommend learning that in that position, 2 octaves if you're on guitar. Memorize that shape. Okay, those of you know the lessons with me, I'm always saying that. Memorize that shape. Because then all I have to do to play a major scale is find the root with my second finger and find that shape. Okay, so that's where we're going to work out of. So stop here if this is where you're at. Memorize that major scale. There's other places to do it, but I would recommend that shape. I'm in second position. My second finger's on the 3rd fret, and that's my G. Okay? Learn that major scale, learn that shape, memorize that shape, okay? All right, now, second part of it is how do we build chords out of that? Okay, triads I'm talking about, just major, minor chords, not 7th chords. Well, we take every other note. Okay, so let's start with the first note of the scale. Okay, G, right? I'm going to skip this one, take that one, skip this one, take that one. The 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th of the scale. Okay. Those are the notes of a G chord, G major. G, B, D. And then when we play a G chord in any of the so many shapes that you can play it in, you know, it's just a mixture of those three notes, G, B, and D. Usually we'll have the root as the lowest note, but that's, you don't have to. But that's what a G chord is. Don't think of it connected to some particular shape. Think of it as just a note G, B, and D played together, however you figure it out, right? Which is a lot of different places. Okay, but where that comes from is back to the G major scale, starting from the first note and playing every other note. First, third, fifth, G, B, D. That could be the G major. So that's the one chord in the key of G major. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. If you got to listen to it again, go ahead. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, now I'm going to do that same process over and over, starting on the different degrees of the major scale, right? So if I start on the second note, A, right? See what I'm doing here? I'm starting on the second note of the G scale and then playing every other note. So instead of first, third, and fifth, it's second, fourth, and sixth, right? Playing this one, skipping that one, playing this one, skipping that one, playing this one. Right? The second, fourth, and the sixth notes from that G major scale. Okay? That gives me an A minor chord. A, C, and E. Okay? A minor chord. We won't talk right now about why that's an A minor chord, but that's what it is. So, right? We knew it was going to be an A something. It's an A minor. Okay? So that's the second chord in the key of G. We can keep doing that process, right? Now I'll start on the third note, right? B, and play every other note. You know, third, fifth, and seventh, which is B minor. I start on a B, and then the next note is C. The fourth, C major. Right? The fourth is a major. Sound familiar? Right? When they're in the key of G, the fourth is C major. The next one, fifth, is D major. The fifth is D major. That's where you get that G, C, and D, 1, 4, and 5, right? The sixth, E minor. Right? The seventh is that what that one is? F sharp, A. Right, A. That's like a diminished chord, half diminished chord, F sharp. We're not going to use that one too much, okay? But the point is, those are your chords in the key of A. G major, A minor, B minor, however you're playing, C, D, E minor, and then F half diminished, and then back to G, okay? And it works the same way in every key in that whatever key you're in, the one chord is a major, the two chord is a minor, the three chord is a minor, the four chord is a major, the fifth chord is a major, six is a minor, seventh is a diminished. Okay, it works that way in every key. And now let's here's a little exercise. If you followed with me this long, if you've learned that major scale, you practice the major scale to where you're pretty good at going up and down. You understand what I'm talking about as far as pulling out those series of every other notes to build chords. Let's try and do it, okay? All right, let's start with G. I already kind of showed you these, but I'm going to go much slower now. G, B, D. A, C, E, B, D, F sharp, C, E, G, D, F sharp, A, E, G, B, F sharp, A, C. Right? And then I can start the second octave, or I'll just end here with G, D, D. Back to G again. Right? I could keep going. I'd have to start going up the neck. that is a great exercise to learn, to play for your ear, for playing. It's hard. It takes a little time, right? I'm trying to get it a little faster myself, kind of like this. Anyway, I was taken up to that second octave, but working on that first octave particularly. Right, on any instrument, you could do that. You're taking every other note, starting on the first degree of the scale, second degree, third degree. Okay, so see if you could do those things. Memorize that major scale. Um, play it in that second position G scale, or the position that starts with the second finger, or whatever instrument you're on, an octave or two. Build those chords, taking every other note. Right. Remember that the 7 chords are major, minor, minor, major, minor, minor, and then diminished. And then see if you could play them. What I'm really doing is arpeggiating them. When we play the chords, we're usually just strumming them into patterns that you already know, but play them as arpeggios within that major scale shape.